Welcome everyone. I've just done a short talk in English, so I'm about to do now the same in in English for our English-speaking friends. I remind you that the group is bilingual, so we have the same contents in English and in Italian, although at different times. So today I'd like to present you a little initiative, which will be a series of short talks of a few minutes, 10, 15 minutes, that we're doing every night or evening, depending where you are, around uh, 11:30 midnight Rome time. And in preparation of the Advent of Christmas, I decided to do not an Advent calendar, but like short Advent talk. Well, I'll be talking about the Advent. What is this about? And this idea I got from a friend of mine who short time ago suggested that we should all be reading this 24 days leading to Christmas, a chapter of the Gospel of Luke every day. They have 24 chapters in it. So by the end of the Advent time, by Christmas Day, you know what the Christmas story is about and Jesus Christ story is about. But I'm not going to do that, of course. I'm going to only read the first chapter, divided into different parts, that tells the story up from the very beginning up to the birth of Christ, Nativity. And I will pair that with some great masterpieces, mostly of Italian art from Tuscany, that celebrates, and from Italy in general, that celebrates and illustrates this, all the facts that led to the birth of Jesus Christ. So of course, there'll be some magnificent masterpieces, and I hope you appreciate it. This is a totally free series, and will culminate the just before Christmas. I'll be doing a series, a talk about the Nativity. Now, the talk about the Nativity will be in Italian, but also do a similar version in English. And then, of course, December 19th, there will be the free tour about the Sistine Chapel. So these tours are completely free. Now, let me just share the screen. And so today I'd like to introduce you. I will read the first lines from the Gospel of Luke. I choose Luke because Luke, it was not wasn't a Hebrew, wasn't a Jew. He was actually from Antiochia, and he was a disciple of Saint Paul. So he never met Jesus, and around 80 AD he collected a number of information and wrote the gospel as with the same purpose as an historian, to put together all this information. At that time, each Christian community had their own Bible. So, and it inspired a lot of artists, also because St. Luke was believed to be himself the very first artist who portrayed and painted the Madonna while she was still alive. And also St. Peter and St. Paul. It's believed that he came to Rome together with St. Paul. Now, Saint Luke is also the patron saint of painters, so painters celebrated him. So I'll be using also some paintings with Saint Luke. This beautiful art piece is the Saint Luke Polyptych by Andrea Mantegna, an artist from the Veneto region, who introduced elements of the Renaissance into his style, especially inspired by another great Florentine master, Donatello. Now, if we look at the Polyptych, it's got a shape of a Gothic kind of framing with this kind of pointy archways, and also the bright gold background and decoration, but also it's got Renaissance elements with these pillars. Although they're thin like Gothic ones, they also have a capital that has sleeves. It's more classical, more Renaissance. Now, in the center stands St. Luke, represented like one of those monks, those copies, and the altarpiece was originally made for the convent of San Justina in Padua. Padua was a very important city, was a seat of one of the oldest universities in the world, and also had a very lively cultural scene and economic scene. In about 150 years before this was done, in the 1300s, Giotto di Bondone decorated a beautiful Scrovegni chapel. Now you see that on the top, they're basically divided in two scenes, with um, Saint Luke being the main one. At the top there is the Pietà with Christ and the tomb, and then on the left you have the Virgin Mary with this expression of pain, and on the right you have Saint John the Baptist. Then a number of saints, Saint Daniel. Then we have Saint Jerome with the stone and the red cape as a of a bishop. Then we have Saint Augustine, of course, with a book and the staff, and then Saint Sebastian with the palm tree of the martyrdom. On the lower scene, first one on the right, Saint Justina. Saint Justina, she was the martyr to which the convent was dedicated, where this altarpiece was, and she's got a sword in her chest, and of course the palm tree sign on martyrdom. And then Saint Benedict, reading, busy. Ora et labora, work and pray, was the motto of the Benedictine order, which was founded by the saint in the 6th century. And on the other side, on the far side, there is the sister of the saint, Santa Scholastica, who created an order of nuns. And then San Prosdocimo, the last saint here, and also a bishop. And then in the center we have Saint Luke. Now it's very interesting how Saint Luke was represented by the by Andrea Mantegna. Now we have to know first of all that Donatello made the altar of the Basilica in Padua of Sant'Anthony around the same years. It was finished by the time Mantegna started painting this altarpiece. And so this altar in the main church of in the Basilica of Padua of Sant'Anthony had a number of bronze statues put on a high altar on a pedestal with basically kind of a canopy on top. We're not sure how it was and how the statues were displayed, because then the altar was replaced with a late Renaissance Baroque one later on in the 16th century. But the statues are still preserved, and you can see the figures, how statuary they are. They really wanted to have this to add this three-dimensional element to the statue. In fact, some of them are 3/4, including Saint John here, and then you could see the beautiful garments, how they drop so beautifully, how the reflections are all very nicely made. So they're really extremely accurate. So Mantegna really master the shading and all the elements of the clothing. So it is like they are Renaissance figures in a kind of more Gothic or late Middle Age context. And you could see St. Luke again. It's like one of those amanuensi, the copies that in the Benedictine monasteries copied the ancient books and gospels, and then were able to pass on that knowledge. And underneath his desk, that he wears like a slope one, that like a reading one. There are 2 more books, because of course his research was based on that. And there is this kind of idea of the monks who were passing on the books with a lamp, a little red lamp, and the colors here put in the holes on the desk, like in the schools before the modern pens were invented, with black and white ink, which was the kind of ink used to copy the manuscripts. He is sitting on a beautiful marble chair, which reminds of the classical roots. He wrote the Gospel in Greek, and basically there were a number of elements refers to the ancient word. And here in this case, we have the dolphins, we have the beautiful throne, but the marbles are amazing. The fact that Mantegna was able to recreate this beautiful marble decoration, coral marble decoration, the pillar and the marble table, because of course Christianism is based as well on both the Jewish tradition, the Christian tradition, but also the Roman classical tradition. And this is one of the key elements of the Renaissance that we'll find in many artworks. As I said, the saint that here is represented quite like a monk. You see also with the kind of tonsura, the shaving on the head. But this beautiful position here as well. St. Luke was represented several other times. This is the ceiling of the Cappella Tornabuoni, painted by Domenico Ghirlandaio, where also a young teenage Michelangelo worked. And I'll be speaking about this chapel in the next coming days. So I'll be doing a live short talk on Facebook every day for the next 12 days. I won't get too close to Christmas because then people have got errands to do, shopping and other stuff. So I use this time. And you can see the bull, which is the symbol of St. Luke. And then, sorry, also here we have a painting by Guercino, where St. Luke is represented painting the Madonna. As I said, he's the patron saint of artists or the painters. There's this Academy of St. Luke in Rome, dedicated, of course, to artists and to the saints. This is a painting by Guercino, a Baroque artist. And you can see the bull here represented as a small statue of bull, this kind of a piece of archaeology. And of course, the angel guiding the hand of the evangelist, which is also a gifted artist. There are several churches in Rome that claim to have portraits of the Virgin Mary made by St. Luke, amongst them Santa Maria in Cosmedin, probably the one of the Pantheon, and a few other cathedrals. There are a few many churches also all over Italy that have them. Most of them are actually Middle Age, so 6th, 7th century AD icons, Byzantine style icons, but they look old enough to be possibly made by Luke to the general public. So I just want to read now the introduction. So we'll open this series. So I'll be reading all of us chapter of the Gospel of Luke. This is the translation. I'll use the King James Bible. For the Italian version, I use the Che version. Is the official version that is used by the church. For as much as many have taken in hand to set forth in order a declaration of those things which are most surely believed among us, even as they delivered them from unto us, which was from the beginning, were eyewitnesses and ministers of the word. It seemed good to me also, having had perfect understanding of all things that they very first, to write unto thee in order, most excellent Theophilus, that thou mightest know the certainty of those things, wherein thou hast been instructed. Of course, this is 17th century English, so it might not be the easiest. It's not easy for me, definitely. Who is Theophilus? Well, we don't know. It was probably a scholar or another cultivated man or a man of power, to which that St. Luke addresses the gospel to this man, whom we don't know that much. And then he starts describing the story of Christ, but it starts a little bit before the actual annunciation and the beginning of all, with the facts of the family of Mary. And so we'll start from there, and we'll see how artists in the Renaissance have illustrated that. And this will end up with the nativity closer to Christmas. I won't do it on Christmas Eve, so don't worry. This talks are free. They will be broadcast on YouTube and on the Facebook group Virtual Experiences. Feel free to share with your friends and invite other people. I remind you that the next free tour will be the Secrets of the Sistine Chapel, which will be December 19th, and you can register online on the website. Thank you very much. I will love if you can comment, if you could give suggestion. This is quite an informal talk, so I'll pick up a masterpiece to talk about in the next few days following this kind of peculiar Advent. And of course, this is not a religious thing. It's not about, the church is just to explain Christmas. So people of every faith, of no faith, are welcome. So it's not Sunday school. Thank you very much.